Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sports Design School. Now it's the time of the week where we highlight some of our favorite designs over the last few days. And since we didn't put out a video last week, today's video will be breaking down some of our favorite designs over the last 14 days. Now a quick reminder, if your design isn't featured in today's video, it doesn't mean we didn't like it or appreciate it. It simply means that it probably didn't pop up on our Instagram timeline thanks to the Instagram algorithm. But no worries, we'll be covering lots of designs and talented designers here over the next few weeks, so make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our weekly design recap videos just like this one. But let's go ahead and jump into the designs. So our first design today comes courtesy of Tony Tequist on Instagram. Now, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name or not, but that's what we're gonna run with. Tony is the designer for the Texas football program, and he does a super great job of highlighting the unique brand and all of the different elements that Texas has to offer. I really think he's a talented designer and a must follow on Instagram. But this design isn't Texas football, this is hockey. And we have I believe it's Minnesota Wild. I'm not super familiar with hockey, so if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. Versus the Vegas Golden Knights. What really stood out to me about this was the kind of mirror effect. So we have 4 cutouts in total, 2 faces kind of facing off, and then we have 2 action photos. And then we have in the middle separating them like a reflected skyline of, I believe, Las Vegas. And then I think when you combine that all together with the green gradient, I believe, the gradient map applied to this, I think everything just comes together and looks super awesome. It almost, I don't know, gives me like a Great Gatsby like feeling. But I think this design is really cool. It definitely stood out to me and I really appreciated Tony's work. So Tony, keep up the great work. Love what you're doing over there at Texas. This next design comes courtesy of DSA DZN. Not gonna try to pronounce that, on Instagram. And it's a Lamelo Ball design. Now there are so many things that stand out about this design. I think some of the Lamelo Ball designs I've seen recently have been some of my favorites, simply because the Hornets have so many great elements that you can use in designing for them. The honeycomb pattern itself is a very unique element, but when you combine that with the awesome color scheme that they have, I think it really opens the door for some great design work. And DSA DZN, I'm gonna say DSA Design, really killed it with this particular design. Now what I really love is the 3D text in the background of the image. That's something that's really unique and stands out. And then you combine that with the 3D elements of the hexagon shapes. So you have the series of hexagons that Lamelo Ball is standing on, the layered 3D hexagons in the background, and then a couple of the elements in the right side in the bottom left-hand corner. It all stands out and makes it feel like a cohesive 3-dimensional image. When you combine that with the seriously fantastic lighting that DSA Design has put together, it all just blends together for a awesome piece of art. I really enjoyed the design. I think it's the perfect blend of over the top but simple but cohesive, and I think you absolutely crushed it. Keep up the great work. I can't wait to see what else comes from you, DSA Design. This next design comes courtesy of probably one of my favorite designers of all time. I've been following him for I think a few months now, and everything that he puts out I think really stands out to me, simply because it feels almost cinematic in the way that it's presented. This design from Jonathan Ogstow, I hope I pronounced that correctly, looks amazing, and I'll talk about some of the things that really stood out to me. Now on the surface, this doesn't seem like a super complicated design. It's a guy standing there, a car in the background, some fireworks, and then a city in the background. But what really stood out to me was the way that the lighting in this scene feels so cohesive and just feels so real. So the lighting on the back left tire of the race car just really, it almost looks like you're there, standing there looking at it for real. And then when you combine that with the awesome lighting of the city in the background, then some of the firework effects in the background, and then like just zoom in on his shoes, the way that the shoes and the helmet, the way that the lighting just interacts with the scene feels fantastic. And Jonathan, seriously, love your work. Keep up the great work. Everything that you put out, I'm a huge fan of, and this is no exception. Look forward to seeing what you come up with next. This next design is again from one of my favorite designers. I've mentioned him before on this series, but I think this design is just too good not to highlight. I was scrolling and I literally stopped for a second and said, wow, this design is awesome. Now this Giannis Antetokounmpo design really stands out to me. I think it's the perfect simple design in the sense that like it's really tough to do. I can't remember the actual name. I know this style has a particular name. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it is probably one of the best executions of that style I've seen. It's so easy to try and do this and then overdo it or lose too much of your original image, or like it just doesn't stand out. But the way that King X Designs executed this looks great. I love like the forest elements that he incorporates. That obviously is a tie back to Milwaukee, I believe. And then it's also like the layers of it. So we have the birds up top, but then we have some cutouts in the middle. And then we have in the bottom right hand corner some more cutouts of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then there's another section of trees at the bottom, just bringing the whole design together. Overall, looks great, looks super simple and clean, and I love it. Keep up the great work, King X Designs. Now this design is one that I wanted to be sure to highlight because it's very unique and very different, but it's also insanely good. Like it's like awesome. So in this design you see just a head, just a cutout of a head, and then you see like the little band of the collar of the jersey or of the kit. I don't know what they say in soccer. I think it's a kit. And then you have just that as the main focal point of our design. But then when you combine that with a couple of different elements, it all looks phenomenal. So in the top left, we have like a little registration bar, a registration mark up in the little top right corner. And then in the background, we have, it almost looks like not like a paint swatch. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks awesome. And then the way that the colors blend together. So you see like in the original image, it's almost like a black and white. I guess it is black and white. And then you have the red from the collar. And then when that interacts with the red from the background, it all comes together and looks fantastic. And then I think the typography and the text treatment in this just takes this and elevates it to an entirely new level. So on the right hand side, I think the font choice was great, simple, nothing too over the top. And I think it's just the perfect size to where it's a nice detail, but it doesn't feel like it's drawing your attention away from the artwork in the middle of the design. And then we have the name here on the left hand side. And again, doesn't draw your attention away from the focal point. But at the same time, I really love this font choice. It's a little bit unique, a little bit different, but I think it works really well in this design, and it's awesome to see different fonts incorporated in sports designs. So KNXGHT Design, keep up the great work, love what you're doing, and I can't wait to see what you have next. Now this next design was another one of those designs where I was scrolling and I had to say, wow, that is really cool. Like, how did he execute this? And it's this design from Extreme CFB on Instagram. Now it is a design featuring the Notre Dame football stadium, and it looks like it's kind of carved out of the ground. And then you can see some of the different angles of the stadium with 100% in the background, full capacity with the Notre Dame logo. Now I love this design for a multitude of reasons. One of them just being it's kind of really difficult to try and cut out a full stadium like this. Like if you've ever tried it, it takes a long time and the results are never super impressive. And I think Extreme CFB did a great job with this. The other thing I love is if you look closely, there's little 4-leaf clovers flying out of the stadium and then some subtle cloud details. I think that all looks great. And then I think I really enjoy the way that there's like a nice shadow being cast from the little block of dirt over onto the left-hand side. And then the size and scale of everything just feels great. It's like a great kind of positioning that doesn't feel too big, doesn't feel too small, and has the perfect amount of white space. So Extreme CFB, love the work and keep it up. We can't wait to see what you have in store. This next design comes courtesy of Arham XHAQ. I'm probably butchering every single one of these, so I apologize. But it's this Kobe Bryant design. And this design seriously is mind-blowing. There are so many different details and elements that I could zoom in and focus on. But for one, I just love the way that in these Kobe cutouts in the front, it's almost like it's the yellow jersey of the Lakers jersey, but then it has like the purple kind of like fading into the jersey, almost like it's like being painted on. But then as you like scroll around in the design, you notice there's all these little details. From in the bottom left-hand corner, there's like a photo frame kind of like tucked in there with some nice detail. And then on top of that, I don't even know what that little circle is. It's almost just like a texture overlay. The nice Spalding basketball details throughout. And then it looks like in the top left here, we have, I don't actually know what that is. I think it might be like a snake pattern or something along those lines. All of this stuff just comes together. It's like a combination of so many different elements that you wouldn't even necessarily think to combine. But Arham X HAQ does a great job of bringing them all together and making them feel cohesive. It's one of those things, I saw this and I was like, I definitely need to feature this in this series. These kind of designs are what this series is for, just talking about designs that absolutely blow your mind. And Arham X HAQ definitely did that with this design. But that's it, guys. That's all I have for today. If you're not subscribed to our channel already, please subscribe. I think about 48% of you that watch these videos aren't subscribed, so it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe, and it would help out our channel. But thanks so much for watching. Like I said, we'll do these videos every single week to highlight some of our favorite designs and designers, so stay tuned for more videos like this coming soon. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.